Nia Carter sips coffee in first class, her hoodie blending with the luxe seats, when Kyle Grayson, all sharp jaw and sharper sneer, looms over her. "You don't belong here. Move to economy now," he snaps. She rises calmly, but the intercom buzzes. "This is your captain. Our owner's aboard today." Kyle's face drains white, realizing he's just insulted Horizon Airways' billionaire boss. Nia's sly smile promises payback. What's her next move? Before we dive in, tell us where you're watching from, and if you stand for justice, hit like and subscribe for more epic showdowns. Nia Carter settles into the cramped economy seat, her hoodie pulled low over her brow, the faint hum of the jet engines vibrating through the thin cushion beneath her. She adjusts the frayed armrest, her fingers brushing a sticky patch of spilled soda, and exhales softly, unbothered by the downgrade. Around her, passengers shuffle bags and murmur about the flight from Atlanta to Johannesburg, a 14-hour haul across the Atlantic and down the African continent. The cabin smells of recycled air and cheap perfume, a far cry from the leather and champagne of first class. But Nia's mind is elsewhere, sharp and focused. She knows who she is, the 42-year-old black woman who built Horizon Airways, from a single rickety plane to a global empire worth billions. This little hiccup? Just a pebble in her path. She sips from a plastic water bottle, her dark eyes scanning the rows ahead, waiting for the storm she's about to unleash. Meanwhile, up front, Kyle Grayson struts through the first-class aisle, his polished shoes clicking on the floor, his chest puffed out like he owns the sky. At 35, he's got the chiseled look of a man who spends too much time flexing in gym mirrors, but his eyes carry a glint of something uglier, a coiled disdain he doesn't bother to hide. He's still rattled from that intercom blast, the captain's voice echoing in his skull. "Our owner's aboard today." It's gnawing at him, a splinter he can't pluck out. Who could it be? Some rich old white guy in a suit, probably, sipping scotch up here where the air's cleaner. Not that woman he'd just shoved to the back, no way. She didn't fit the mold. Too casual, too quiet, too black. He'd clocked her the second she boarded, her simple jeans and sneakers screaming wrong section in his mind. He'd acted fast, decisive, the way he always did when someone didn't belong. Now, though, doubt creeps in, and he hates it. The cabin lights dim as the plane levels off at 35,000 feet, the seatbelt sign flicking off with a soft ping. Passengers stretch and shift, some pulling out laptops, others craning necks to peek at the first-class curtain. Nia feels eyes on her too, a few curious glances from the row ahead. A teenage girl with braided hair and a guy in a faded Falcons cap. They'd seen the shuffle, heard Kyle's barked order, and now they're whispering, phones glowing in their hands. Nia doesn't flinch. She's used to being watched, sized up, dismissed. It's been her fuel since she was a kid in a rundown Atlanta neighborhood, dodging slurs and skepticism to claw her way to the top. She leans back, her posture relaxed but her brain ticking like a chess master mid-game. Kyle, though, can't sit still. His palms are slick with sweat, his tie suddenly too tight around his neck. That captain's message won't let him rest. He grabs the intercom mic from the galley wall, his thumb jabbing the button hard enough to make it creak. "Listen up," he snaps, his voice booming through the cabin, sharp and jagged like broken glass. "Whoever's causing trouble, stay put. I run this cabin and I don't care who you think you are. Rules are rules." He slams the mic down, chest heaving, convinced he's reasserted control. Let them squirm, he thinks. Let them know who's boss. His eyes dart to the economy section, locking on Nia's hooded figure for a split second before he turns away, smugness curling his lips. She's nothing, he tells himself. Just some nobody trying to sneak a free upgrade. Happens all the time. But Nia's not squirming. She's calculating. She catches the teenage girl's eye, the one with the braids, who's now filming the empty first-class seat Nia left behind. The girl's whispering to her mom, loud enough for Nia to hear. "That guy's a jerk. Who does he think he is?" Nia's lips twitch, not quite a smile, but close. She leans over, her voice low and steady, like a secret shared over coffee. "He's about to find out who I am." The girl's eyes widen, her phone tilting to catch Nia's face. "Wait, what?" she stammers, But Nia's already pulling out her own phone, a sleek black model that looks out of place in her casual grip. She taps a quick message to her assistant Lena back in Atlanta. Leak it. Now. Within minutes, the cabin buzzes like a kicked hive. The guy in the Falcon's cap gasps, his screen lighting up his stunned face. Yo, this is wild, he mutters, showing his wife a tweet that's already racking up thousands of likes. Flight attendant just kicked Horizon Airways billionaire owner out of first class. She's black. He's clueless. Video incoming. The teenage girl's clip hits X next. Shaky footage of Kyle's sneer and Nia's calm exit, tagged with the jar Horizon Airways and justice for Nia. Passengers twist in their seats, craning to see Nia, who's now scrolling her phone like she's checking the weather, unfazed by the chaos she's sparked. The video's grainy, but her face is clear, and the caption seals it. Meet Nia Carter, the boss he dissed. Kyle's oblivious at first, chatting up a first-class passenger about the steak they're serving, his fake grin plastered on tight. Then Mia, the Latina flight attendant with a no-nonsense bob and a glare that could melt steel, storms up the aisle, her tablet clutched like a weapon. Kyle, you idiot, she hisses, shoving the screen in his face. Look at this. He squints at the video, now at 50,000 views and climbing, his own voice blaring back at him. You don't belong here. His stomach drops like the plane's hit turbulence, but he forces a scoff. That's fake. No way she's the owner. Look at her. Mia rolls her eyes so hard it's audible. She's Nia freaking Carter, you moron. Built this airline from scratch. You're trending for all the wrong reasons. The cabin's alive now. A low roar of gasps and chatter rippling from economy to first class. A white businessman in a pinstripe suit leans over his seat, frowning at Kyle. You messed with the owner? Seriously? A black woman 2 rows back stands up, pointing. That's what you get for judging people, man. Kyle's face flushes red, then purple, his fists clenching at his sides. He spins toward economy, locking eyes with Nia, who's still seated, one eyebrow raised like she's watching a bad movie. He wants to scream, to call her a liar. But the captain's voice cuts through again, crackling over the radio clipped to his belt. Grayson, this is a mess. Fix it, or you're grounded for good when we land. The words hit like a punch, and Kyle stumbles back, his smugness shredded. Nia, though, isn't done. She taps another message to Lena. Dig up his file, every complaint, send it to CNN. She knows Kyle's type. Loud until cornered, then vicious. She's seen it in boardrooms, on streets, in every space she's fought to claim. This isn't just about a seat. It's about the assumption that her skin disqualifies her from power. The teenage girl's still filming, her mom now joining in, both grinning like they've hit the jackpot. You're a legend, the girl whispers, and Nia nods, her voice a quiet blade. Not yet. Watch. This. Kyle's unraveling fast. He grabs the intercom again, his voice shaking but defiant. This is a misunderstanding. Some people lie to get attention. Stay calm. We'll sort it out. But the passengers aren't buying it. Boos erupt, loud and ragged, a chorus of disgust rolling through the cabin. A guy in a hoodie throws a balled-up napkin that bounces off Kyle's shoulder, and Mia snorts, stepping back like she's done with him. You're on your own, dude, she mutters, retreating to the galley. Kyle's alone now, the video's view count ticking past 100,000. Hashtags like racist Kyle and Nia Carter rules lighting up screens across the plane. Nia leans back, her water bottle empty, her mind racing ahead. She's turned his insult into a public flogging, but she knows he won't stop. Men like Kyle don't slink away, they double down, and she's ready for it. The plane hums on, slicing through the night sky, but the real turbulence is just beginning. Kyle's career's teetering, his name's mud, and Nia's only started. Swinging. She glances out the window, the dark clouds below mirroring the storm she's brewing. Let him squirm, she thinks. He's got no idea what's coming. Kyle Grayson staggers back from the first-class curtain, his polished facade cracking like cheap plaster under the weight of 100 boos still ringing in his ears. The cabin's a furnace of noise, passengers hissing and muttering, their phones flashing like fireflies as they capture every twitch of his flushed face. His tie's a noose now, strangling his breath, and his hands tremble as he shoves them into his pockets, trying to look unbothered. That video's everywhere. 1 million views in an hour, his sneering "You don't belong here" looping like a bad song stuck in the world's head. He can feel it, the captain's warning sizzling through the radio clipped to his belt, the passenger's glares boring into his skull, the whole plane turning on him. But he's not done. Not yet. He storms toward the galley, his jaw tight, his mind a tangle of fury and denial. She's a fraud, he tells himself, some scam artist playing dress-up. No way she's the owner, not her. In economy, Nia Carter sits still as stone, her hoodie shadowing her face, her fingers tapping idly on the armrest. The teenage girl with braids, Aisha, keeps stealing glances, her phone still rolling, while the guy in the Falcon's cap, Jamal, scrolls X with his wife. Their whispers a soft buzz. Nia's calm, a lake hiding a current, her dark eyes flicking to the galley where Kyle's headed. She knows he's unraveling, can smell it like smoke on the wind. Her phone's warm in her, lap buzzing with updates from Lena. CNN's got his file, 3 complaints, all racial, airing tonight. Nia's lips curve, just a sliver, not enough to call it a smile. She's got him bleeding now, his past spilling out for the world to see. But she's not naive. Men like Kyle don't go down easy. They claw and bite, and she's ready for the next swing. Kyle bursts into the galley, the steel door clanging behind him, and finds Mia prepping coffee, her back stiff as a board. Her brown eyes snap to him, sharp and cold, like she's been waiting to unload. "You need to see this," he barks, snatching her tablet from the counter and jabbing at the screen. The video's still there, racking up views, but now there's more. Tweets calling him out by name, a blurry photo of him smirking at a bar last year, some old coworker's post about his attitude problem. His pulse slams in his throat. "This is bull," he spits, tossing the tablet back. "She's lying, Mia. You know it. Back me up here." Mia doesn't flinch, just crosses her arms, her uniform crisp against her tense frame. "Back you up," she snaps, her voice a whip. "You're a fool, Kyle. That's Nia Carter. Built Horizon from nothing. You're the one who's screwed." Kyle blinks, his brain tripping over her words. Nia Carter? The name's a ghost, something he's heard in passing, maybe on a company memo he never read. "No," he growls, stepping closer, his breath hot with panic. "She's nobody. Look at her. Jeans, hoodie, sitting back there like she's broke. She doesn't belong in first class, and you know it." Mia's laugh is short, bitter, slicing. Through his rant. "You're blind, man. She's a billionaire. Black, brilliant, and way out of your league. You judged her by her skin and her shoes, and now you're viral for it. Good luck." She turns away, pouring coffee like he's not even there, her dismissal a gut punch. Kyle's fists ball up, nails digging into his palms. His crew's supposed to have his back, not stab it. The galley's tight, the air thick with the scent of burnt beans and his own sweat, but Kyle's not letting this slide. He spins to Dennis, the lanky white attendant stacking trays, his gray eyes darting nervously. "Dennis, tell her she's wrong," Kyle demands, his voice rising. "You saw her. She didn't even fight me. Owners don't just sit there." Dennis shrugs, his shoulders hunching like he's dodging a fight. "I don't know, man, that video's legit. People are pissed. Maybe you should chill." Kyle's vision blurs red. "Chill? She's ruining me." He slams a fist on the counter, rattling cups, but Dennis just steps back, silent. Mia snorts again, louder this time. "You ruined yourself, genius. Enjoy the mess." Back in economy, Nia catches the commotion, her ears pricking at Kyle's muffled shouts. She knows he's flailing, begging for allies, but she's already 3 moves ahead. She leans toward Aisha, who's still filming, and murmurs, "He's digging his grave. Keep rolling." Aisha nods, her braids swinging, her mom now leaning in, eyes wide. "He's losing it," the mom whispers, and Nia nods, her voice a quiet thunder. "He's lost it already." She taps her phone again, Lena's reply glowing. "Files live. He's toast." Nia's chest tightens, not with fear, but with the thrill of the hunt. Kyle's past. 3 complaints, all hushed up, all about him targeting black passengers, is a ticking bomb, and she's just lit the fuse. Kyle stumbles out of the galley, his uniform rumpled, his hair sticking to his damp forehead. The cabin's a minefield now, every passenger a judge. The businessman in pinstripe stands, his voice booming. "You're a disgrace, man, apologize to her." The black woman from earlier joins in, her finger jabbing the air. "Yeah, say it. You don't get to treat people like trash." Kyle freezes, his mouth dry, words choking in his throat. He wants to scream she's a fake, but the booze drown him out, a wave crashing over his crumbling ego. He spins toward Nia, her silhouette a shadow in the dim light, and something snaps. "She's a liar," he yells, his voice cracking. "She doesn't own Jack, I'll prove it." Nia stands then, slow and deliberate, her hoodie slipping back to reveal her face, high cheekbones, piercing eyes, a quiet fury that silences the cabin for a heartbeat. "Prove it?" she says, her tone smooth as silk, loud enough to carry. "You've got nothing but your own hate." The passengers erupt, cheers and claps rattling the seats, but Kyle's not hearing it. He's a cornered animal, teeth bared, mind racing for a lifeline. He's got a plan, a desperate one, and he's not letting her win this easy. He storms back to the galley, grabbing his radio, his voice low and venomous. "She's done when we land. Call security. Tell them she's a fraud." The plane hums on, the Atlantic stretching endless below, but the air inside is electric, crackling with rage and reckoning. Nia sits again, her posture regal despite the cheap seat, her phone buzzing with news alerts. Horizon flight attendants' racist past exposed. She knows Kyle's not done, can feel his spite coiling like a snake. He's lost the crew, the passengers, the internet, but he's got one card left and she's ready for it. The teenage girl Aisha leans over, whispering, "You're amazing, he's toast, right?" Nia's eyes glint, hard and bright. Not yet, he's got claws. Kyle's back in the galley, alone now, Mia and Dennis gone to serve drinks and dodge his meltdown. His radio crackles, the captain's voice cutting through. "Grayson, you're on thin ice, don't make it worse." But Kyle's past caring. He's calling Johannesburg security, spinning a tale of a disruptive passenger impersonating the owner. His voice shakes, but his resolve hardens. She'll pay, he thinks. She'll wish she'd stayed quiet. The cabin watches, waiting, the tension a live wire ready to snap. "Hey, you're deep in this wild ride now. What do you think? Does Kyle deserve this smackdown for his bigotry? Comment number 1 if you're Team Nia, rooting for her to crush him. Or number 2 if you think he's got a shot to wiggle out. If you're loving this justice-fueled chaos, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next twist. Nia's got the upper hand, but Kyle's clawing back. Will his dirty trick sink her, or is she about to drop a bigger bomb? How far will this war in the sky go? The plane's wheels kiss the tarmac in Johannesburg with a soft screech. The 14-hour flight from Atlanta finally over. The cabin exhaling in a collective rustle of seatbelts unclicking and bags unzipping. Nia Carter stands in economy, stretching her legs, the hoodie still draped over her shoulders like a shield. The air's thick with stale coffee and anticipation. Passengers buzzing about her, their voices a warm hum of admiration. "You showed him," Jamal, the guy in the Falcons cap, says, clapping her shoulder as he grabs his duffel. Aisha, the teenage girl with braids, beams, her phone tucked away now, her mom nodding beside her. "Legend," Aisha whispers, and Nia's chest swells, not with pride, but with a quiet resolve. She's won this round, she thinks. Kyle's a laughingstock, his racist rants plastered across every screen from here to Timbuktu. She steps into the aisle, her sneakers silent on the worn carpet, ready to walk off this jet and into the next battle. Up front, Kyle Grayson lingers by the galley, his uniform wrinkled, his eyes bloodshot from hours of stewing. He's a coiled spring, wound tight by the booze, the viral video, the crew's betrayal, his radio still warm in his hand, the security call he'd made mid-flight echoing in his skull. Disruptive passenger, possible fraud, detainer. He'd spun the lie smooth as silk, banking on Johannesburg's overworked airport guards to buy it. Now, as the jet bridge locks into place, he smirks, a jagged little twist of his lips. She thinks she's untouchable, he muses, watching Nia through the curtain's gap. Let's see how she likes a cell. He adjusts his tie, smoothing his hair, trying to claw back some dignity. The captain's warning, "Fix this or you're done," rings hollow now. He's past fixing. He's out for blood. The cabin doors swing open, sunlight spilling in, hot and golden, the South African afternoon blazing beyond the glass. Passengers stream out, a slow tide of chatter and rolling suitcases, but Nia's in no rush. She slings her leather bag over, her shoulder, her posture easy, her mind already on the meetings ahead, a new route launch, a partnership deal. She's got Horizon Airways to run, and this little tantrum from Kyle's just a speed bump. She steps onto the jet bridge, the metal cool under her feet, and the crowd parts for her, some clapping, others snapping pics. "Nia Carter!" A woman yells, her accent thick, her smile wide. "You're the queen!" Nia nods, her lips twitching upward, a flicker of warmth breaking her steel. She's safe, she thinks. The world knows who she is now. What's he gonna do, cry louder? But the terminal's a different beast. She crosses the threshold, the air conditioning hitting her like a cold slap, and the cheers fade into a sudden, eerie quiet. 5 security guards in stiff gray uniforms materialize, their boots thudding on the tiled floor, their faces carved from stone. The lead one, a burly man with a buzz cut and a badge reading SIFO, steps forward, his hand raised. "Ma'am, stop right there," he barks, his voice a gravelly command. Nia freezes, her bag slipping slightly, her pulse kicking up a notch. "What's this about?" she asks, her tone steady but her eyes narrow, scanning their holsters, their grim stares. Sifo's jaw tightens. "You're under arrest. Suspicion of impersonating Horizon Airways owner. Hands where I can see them." The terminal erupts, passengers gasping, phones whipping out again. But Nia's world narrows to the cuffs snapping around her wrists, cold metal biting her skin. She doesn't flinch, doesn't shout, just locks eyes with Sifo, her voice cutting through the chaos. "You've got the wrong person. Check your facts." He snorts, yanking her toward a side corridor, the crowd parting like a wounded sea. "Tell it to the chief," he mutters. And she catches a glimpse of Kyle lurking by the gate, his smirk wide as a shark's, his arms crossed like he's won the lottery. He's done it, she realizes, her stomach twisting. He's turned her, victory lap into a trap, his racism spinning a web she didn't see coming. They haul her through a maze of hallways, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, the air sour with sweat and bureaucracy. Passengers trail behind, filming, shouting, "Let her go!" But the guards don't blink. Nia's mind races, piecing it together. Kyle's call, his lie, his desperate bid to flip the script. She's cuffed, powerless, her phone snatched from her bag and tossed into a plastic bin by a guard with a lazy grin. "No calls for you," he says, and she bites back a retort, her jaw tight. They shove her into an elevator, the doors slamming, shut, and it drops 2 floors to a basement level, a gray concrete tomb beneath the bustling airport. She's cut off now, no signal, no allies. Just the echo of her own breath and the guard's heavy steps. The holding room's a cage, peeling paint, a single flickering bulb, a metal bench bolted to the floor. Sifo uncuffs her, shoving her inside, and the door clangs shut, the lock clicking with a finality that echoes in her bones. "Wait here," he grunts, disappearing with his crew, leaving her alone in the dimness. She rubs her wrists, red marks blooming where the steel dug in, and paces the tiny space, her sneakers scuffing the grime. This isn't just about a seat anymore, she knows. It's systemic, a machine Kyle's hijacked to grind her down. He's betting she'll crack, that her blackness makes her fragile in their eyes. He's wrong. Minutes crawl by, the silence pressing in, but Nia's not idle. She spots a rusted nail jutting from the bench, works it loose with her fingers, and uses it to scratch a message on the wall. "Nia Carter, Horizon owner, call Lena, Atlanta." It's a long shot, but she's played longer odds. She hides the nail in her sock, her heart steady, her mind a blade. She's got people out. There, Lena, her team, the passengers filming this farce. They'll find her. She sits back straight, waiting for the next move when the door creaks open again. It's Kyle, alone, his uniform askew, his eyes wild with triumph. Well, he drawls, leaning against the frame, his voice dripping venom. Not so. High and mighty now, huh? No black woman owns an airline. You're a fake, and I've got you right where you belong. He steps closer, his shadow falling over her, his breath sour with coffee and spite. Security's with me. You're done. Nia meets his gaze, unflinching, her voice a quiet storm. You think this holds me? You've got no idea who you're messing with. He laughs, a harsh bark, and slams the door shut, his footsteps fading down the hall. She's trapped but not broken. Outside, the terminal's a circus. Aisha's mom slips past the crowd, spotting a janitor sweeping near a security post. Hey, she whispers, pressing a crumpled note into his hand. Nia's seat number, a plea for help. She's the owner. They've got her downstairs. The janitor nods, slipping away, and the message starts its slow crawl to freedom. Nia's team in Atlanta's already on it, Lena barking orders, lawyers scrambling, but time's a vice tightening around her neck. Kyle's turned a petty insult into a false arrest, his racism a battering ram against her empire. She hears a guard mutter outside, "Chief's coming soon," and her gut twists. She's got minutes, maybe less. Then, a whisper through the door, low and urgent. "The chief's on his payroll. Good luck." It's a young guard, his voice shaky, slipping her a pen before darting off. Nia grips it, her lifeline, and scratches harder on the wall, her message a beacon in the dark. Kyle's smirk flashes in her mind, his trap closing in, but she's not out yet. The plane's landed, the cheers are gone, and she's cuffed in. A basement, but her fight's just begun. He's underestimated her, and that's his first mistake. Nia Carter sits on the cold metal bench in the basement holding cell, the flickering bulb overhead casting jagged shadows across the peeling walls. The air's damp, heavy with the stench of mold and despair. The concrete floor gritty under her, sneakers. Her wrists ache from the cuffs, faint red lines crisscrossing her skin. But her face is a mask of steel, her dark eyes burning with a fire that no lock can snuff out. The pen from the young guard rests in her palm, its plastic casing, warm from her grip, her message scratched into the wall in uneven letters. Nia Carter, Horizon owner, call Lena, Atlanta. She's alone now, the echo of Kyle Grayson's gloating laughter still ringing in her ears. His words, "No black woman owns an airline," a venomous taunt that fuels her resolve. She knows this isn't just his game anymore. It's bigger, a system rigged to crush her, and she's got to outsmart it. The door groans open, and Kyle saunters back in, his uniform hanging loose, his hair a sweaty mess plastered to his forehead. He's got a swagger now, a predator circling prey, his eyes glinting with a manic edge. "Told you," he sneers, his voice a low growl. "You're done. Security's mine, the chief's mine, this whole place is mine. You're staying here, till you rot." He leans against the wall, arms crossed, his smirk wide and cruel. "Thought you could play me with that video stunt? Look where it got you, back where you belong." Nia doesn't blink, her gaze slicing through him like a blade. "You're a small man, Kyle," she says, her tone steady, deliberate. "Small mind, small soul. This won't hold me." He laughs, a harsh grating sound, and steps closer, his shadow swallowing the light. "Keep dreaming. Chief's got your file locked up. No calls, no lawyers, just you and these walls." She hears the truth in his bravado. He's not bluffing. That young guard's whisper, "The chief's on his payroll," clicks into place. Kyle's not just a racist with a grudge. He's tapped into a corrupt vein running deep in this airport's underbelly. Her phone's gone, her team's cut off, and the clock's ticking in a game she didn't start. But Nia's no stranger to traps. She's built an empire from nothing, face-down boardrooms full of sneering suits who saw her skin before her strength. She shifts the pen to her other hand, her fingers tracing its edge, her mind racing for an out. Kyle's still, talking, his voice a drone of triumph, but she's not listening. She's plotting. He paces the cell, his boots scuffing the floor, his words a torrent of bile. You think you're some big shot? I've seen your type. Loud till you're caught, then nothing. Chief's burying you. And I'm the one who handed him the shovel. He stops, looming over her, his breath sour with stale coffee. No one's coming. That little scribble on the wall? Cute, but it's trash. Nia tilts her head, her lips parting just enough to show teeth. You talk a lot for someone who's already lost, she says, and his smirk falters just for a second, before he recovers, slamming a fist against the door. We'll see who's lost when you're forgotten down here. He spins and stalks. Out, the lock snapping shut, leaving her in the dim glow of that stuttering bulb. The silence is suffocating, but Nia thrives in it. She stands, pacing the 5x7 space, her sneakers silent on the grime. The nail's still in her sock, a tiny rebellion against this cage, and she pulls it out, testing its point against her thumb. She's got the pen, the nail, and a brain that's outmaneuvered worse than this. She kneels by the wall, scratching deeper, adding urgent above her message. Her strokes sharp and sure. It's a beacon, a flare in the dark, and she's banking on someone, anyone, finding it. She knows Lena's out there, a bulldog in a pantsuit, tearing through Atlanta's legal networks to spring her. But time's a noose, and Kyle's bought, enough of it to choke her. Hours drag by, the bulb flickering like a dying star, and Nia's legs ache from pacing. But she doesn't sit. She's listening, ears tuned to every sound. The distant clatter of a cart, the muffled voices of guards swapping shifts. Then, a shuffle outside, soft and hesitant. The door cracks open, and it's the young guard again, his uniform too big, his eyes darting like a cornered rabbit. They're stalling, he whispers, glancing back. Chief's shredding your release papers. Kyle paid him $5,000. Nia's gut twists, but her face stays stone. Get this to someone, she says, pressing the pen into his hand with a folded scrap of her hoodie sleeve, her message scrawled on it. He nods, slipping it into his pocket, and vanishes, the door clicking shut. She's alone again, the weight of his words sinking in. $5,000. That's what her freedom's worth to them, a cheap bribe to bury a black woman who dared rise too high. She clenches her fists, nails biting her palms, the sting grounding her. This isn't just Kyle's revenge. It's a system flexing its muscle, proving she doesn't belong no matter how many planes she owns. She hears boots again, heavier this time, and the door flies open. It's Sifo, the burly guard from the terminal, his buzz cut gleaming under the light, a smirk tugging his lips. Chief says you're staying, he grunts, tossing a stale sandwich onto the bench. No calls, no nothing. He lingers, watching her, daring her to crack, but she just stares back, unyielding, until he shrugs and leaves. Nia picks up the sandwich, not to eat, but to tear it apart, scattering crumbs like a trail. She's marking time, keeping sane, her mind a whirlwind of plans. She knows her team's close. Lena's too fierce to let this slide. And those passengers, Aisha's mom, Jamal, they're out there stirring the pot. She imagines the janitor finding her note, the young guard slipping her message to a cop not on the take. It's a thread, thin but real, and she clings to it. The bulb flickers harder, plunging the cell into shadow for a heartbeat, and she uses the dark to breathe, to steel herself. She's not breaking. Not here. Not now. Then, a commotion upstairs, faint but growing. Shouts, pounding feet, a door slamming. The cell door bursts open, and it's Lena, her assistant, all 5'2" of her radiating fury, flanked by 2 lawyers in crisp suits and a nervous airport official clutching a clipboard. Nia, Lena snaps, rushing in, her voice a lifeline. We've got proof, your ID, company records. They can't hold you. Sifo looms behind, his smirk gone, his hands twitching. Paperwork's missing, he mutters, but Lena's already shoving a tablet in his face, Horizon's logo glowing on a signed affidavit. Found it, asshole, she snarls. Release her. Now. Nia stands, her legs steady despite the ache, her hoodie slipping back to reveal her face. Calm, regal, unbroken. Sifo fumbles with keys, uncuffing her, his eyes avoiding hers, but she feels the shift. She's free, or so it seems. The lawyers barking about lawsuits, Lena gripping her arm like she'll never let go. They hustle her out. The basements, gloom giving way to the terminal's harsh light, passengers cheering as she emerges. Kyle's nowhere in sight, but his stench lingers, his trap sprung and shattered. Nia breathes deep, the air tasting of victory, but her gut whispers caution. He's not done, she knows. He's paid too much to quit. They reach the exit, the glass doors sliding open to a blast of Johannesburg heat, and Lena's already on the phone, coordinating a press hit to bury Kyle deeper. Nia's team's here, her empire intact, but the chief's lost paperwork gnaws at her. It's a delay, a dodge, a sign this web's thicker than she thought. She steps outside, the sun blinding, the crowd roaring, and thinks she's won. But Kyle's out there plotting, his $5,000 just the start. She's free for now, and that's enough to keep fighting. Nia Carter steps out of the Johannesburg airport's basement into the blinding afternoon sun. Her sneakers crunching on the pavement, her hoodie slung over her shoulder like a battle-worn flag. The air's thick with heat, a 90-degree wall. That slams into her after the cell's dank chill, but she breathes it in, savoring the taste of freedom. Lena's at her side, a whirlwind in heels, barking orders into her phone. Press conference in an hour, lawyers on standby, bury that clown Kyle. The crowd surges around them, a sea of faces. Passengers from the flight, locals, reporters, cheering her name, their voices a raw, ragged roar. "Nia! Nia!" they chant, fists pumping, phones flashing, and for a moment she lets it wash over her, her chest swelling with a hard-earned glow. She's out, she's won, she thinks. Kyle's trap snaps shut on empty air, his racist scheme, crumbling under her team's relentless push. She nods to a woman waving a Horizon Airways cap, her lips curving into a rare, fleeting smile. But the victory's a mirage, shimmering and fragile. She's halfway to the black SUV Lena's summoned. When the crowd shifts, a ripple of unease cutting through the cheers. Shouts erupt, jagged and hostile from the terminal's edge. "Fraud! Liar! Go back where you came from!" Nia freezes, her pulse spiking, her eyes narrowing as a mob storms into view. 20, maybe 30 strong. They're a ragged pack. White, men mostly, faces twisted with rage, wielding bottles and sticks, their clothes stained with sweat and dust. "She's no owner," one bellows, hurling a beer bottle that shatters 10 feet from her, glass exploding across the asphalt. The crowd scatters, screams piercing the air, but Nia stands her ground, her jaw tight, her mind racing. This isn't random. It's Kyle's doing, she knows, his venom seeping into the streets. Lena grabs her arm, yanking her toward the SUV. "Move, Nia, now!" she snaps, her voice a whip, but the mob's closing fast, their slurs a vicious chorus. "Thief, fake, you don't belong here." A rock clips Lena's shoulder and she stumbles, cursing, blood blooming through her blouse. Nia pulls her up, her own breath sharp and shallow, scanning for an out. The police are there, a thin line of blue uniforms, but they're not moving, their arms crossed, their faces blank. "Do something!" a reporter yells, filming the chaos, but the cops just watch, their stillness a silent betrayal. Nia's gut twists. She's seen this before, authority turning its back when her skin's the target. Kyle's reach is deeper than she feared. His $5,000 to the chief just the tip of a rotting iceberg. The mob's 10 yards away. There, weapons glinting in the sun. When Nia spots a taxi idling by the curb, its yellow paint chipped, its driver a wiry man with a bored slouch. "There!" she shouts, dragging Lena toward it, dodging another bottle that smashes inches from her feet. They dive in, the door slamming shut as the crowd slams fists against the windows, spiderwebbing the glass. "Drive!" Nia barks, and the driver peels out, tires squealing. The mob's roars fading into a dull thrum. She sinks into the torn vinyl seat, her heart hammering, Lena clutching her bleeding shoulder beside her. "You okay?" Nia asks, her voice steady despite the chaos, and Lena nods, grimacing. "Bastards, we're suing everyone." The taxi weaves through Johannesburg streets, high-rises giving way to sprawling markets, the city a blur of color and noise. Nia's mind churns, piecing it together. Kyle's not just a flight attendant with a grudge, he's a spark in a tinderbox, igniting every bigot he can reach. She's free from the cell, sure, But this mob's his counterpunch, a feral escalation, from insults to violence. She glances out the window, the sun dipping low, casting long shadows over the road, and lets herself think it's over. The press'll spin this. Her team will crush him. She'll rise above. Then the driver locks the doors. A sharp click that snaps her back and her stomach drops. He's grinning in the rear view, his teeth yellowed, his eyes glinting with something dark. "Kyle paid me double to drop you in the slums," he mutters, his accent thick, his hands tight on the wheel. Nia's breath catches, her hand sliding. To her pocket, the nail from the cell still tucked in her sock. "Let us out," she says, her voice a blade. But he laughs, low and guttural, turning off the main road into a maze of dirt streets. Lena lunges for the door, but it's jammed, the lock's unyielding, and the driver speeds up, dust billowing behind them. "You're not going anywhere," he growls, and Nia's mind shifts to survival mode, her eyes scanning the cab. A cracked window, a loose seatbelt, anything she can use. The slums loom ahead, shacks of corrugated tin and cardboard sprawling under a haze of smoke, the air thick with the smell of burning trash. The driver slows, pulling into a narrow alley, and Nia acts fast, jamming the nail into the lock mechanism, twisting until it pops. "Go!" she shouts, shoving Lena out as the door swings open, the driver cursing and grabbing for her. She kicks his arm away, tumbling onto the dirt, Lena staggering beside her, the taxi screeching off in a cloud of red dust. They're free, but not safe. The alley a trap of shadows and eyes watching from doorways, the mob's echoes still haunting her ears. Nia pulls Lena behind a stack of crates, her breath ragged, her hoodie snagging on splintered wood. "He's not stopping," she mutters, her voice low, her eyes scanning the rooftops. Lena nods, clutching her shoulder, her face pale but fierce. "We need help. Phone's back at the airport." Nia's mind races. Her team's miles away, the press scattered, the police bought off. She's got nothing but her wits and a nail, and Kyle's turned a seat dispute into a death threat. Footsteps crunch nearby, heavy and deliberate, and she tenses, peering through the crates. It's not the driver, it's worse. A figure in a black cap, stick in hand, one of the mob sniffing her out. She drags Lena deeper into the alley, her sneakers silent on the packed earth, the heat pressing down like a fist. They duck into a shack, its walls trembling with every gust, and Nia peers out a cracked window, spotting more shadows closing in. Kyle's not here, but his hands everywhere, his racism a wildfire spreading beyond the airport. She's escaped. The cell, dodged the mob, outrun the taxi. But this is his real blow. A city turned against her, a trap she can't out-talk. Her chest tightens, not with fear, but with a cold, hard clarity. He's playing for keeps, and she's got to match. Him, blow for blow. The shack's door creaks, a silhouette filling the frame, and Nia grips the nail, ready to fight. It's a woman, gray-haired, her eyes wide with recognition. "You're her," she whispers, glancing back. "They're coming. Hide here." Nia nods, pulling Lena into a corner, the woman piling blankets over them. The mob's shouts grow, louder, boots pounding closer, and Nia's breath stills, her mind a steel trap. She's won the cell, survived the airport, but this is a new beast, and Kyle's claws are sharp. Whoa, this just got insane. Nia's dodging mobs and dirty taxis. What's your take? Comment number 1 if you think Kyle's gone too far with his racist revenge, or number 2 if you reckon Nia's got this in the bag. If this roller coaster's got you hooked, smash that like button and subscribe for the next drop. She's out of the cell, but the slums are a jungle. Can Nia outsmart Kyle's street-level strike, or will his hired thugs finally bring her down? What's lurking in this dusty maze? Nia Carter crouches beneath a pile of threadbare blankets in the shack, the coarse fabric scratching her skin, her breath shallow as the gray-haired woman shuffles to the door. Lena's beside her, her wounded shoulder leaking a slow trickle of blood, her face pale but her jaw set hard. The Johannesburg slum hums outside, a cacophony of barking dogs and distant shouts, the air thick with smoke and the sour tang of rotting garbage. The shack's walls tremble, tin rattling against wood, and Nia grips the nail from her sock, its rusted point a lifeline in her fist. Footsteps pound closer, heavy and uneven, the mob's growls cutting through the dusk like a blade. She's here somewhere, a voice snarls, thick with booze and hate, and Naya's pulse hammers, her mind razor sharp. Kyle's turned the city into his weapon, she knows, his racism a match igniting this powder keg. The door bangs open, hinges creaking, and 3 thugs spill in, their shadows stretching long across the dirt floor. The leader's a hulking brute, his black cap pulled low, a splintered stick swinging in his meaty hand. "Where's the woman?" he barks, his accent rough, his eyes wild as he jabs the stick at the gray-haired woman. She stands firm, her frail frame a wall, her voice steady. "No one's here, get out." He laughs, a wet, ugly sound, and shoves her aside, her body hitting the wall with a thud. Nia tenses, her muscles coiling, but she holds still, waiting, the nail biting into her palm. Lena's breath hitches, and Nia presses a hand to her arm, silencing her. Not yet, she thinks. Timing's everything. The thugs tear through the shack, kicking over a rusted pot, ripping a curtain from its nail, their boots grinding dust into the air. "Kyle said she's worth $1,000," the second one mutters, a skinny guy with a scarred lip, his knife glinting as he slashes a sack of grain. "Black chick thinks she's hot stuff." The third, a wiry kid with jittery hands, peers under a table muttering, "Gonna teach her a lesson." Naya's blood boils, her chest tight with a fury she's known since childhood, since the first time someone spat her worth back in her face. Kyle's hired these animals, she realizes. His $5,000 to the chief just a down payment on this bloodlust. She's not just fighting for freedom now, it's survival, raw and primal. The leader swings his stick at the blankets inches from her head, and Nia moves fast as a snake. She bursts from the pile, slamming the nail into his wrist, twisting, until he howls, the stick clattering to the floor. "Lena, go!" she shouts, shoving her assistant toward the door as the skinny one lunges, his knife slashing air. Nia ducks, grabbing a broken pipe from the debris, and swings it hard, cracking, his knee with a sickening crunch. He crumples, screaming, and she spins, facing the kid who's frozen, his hands shaking. "Out!" she growls, her voice a thunderclap, and he bolts, tripping over the pot in his panic. The shack's a battlefield now, chaos erupting in seconds, but Naya's alive, her breath sharp, her body electric. Lena stumbles outside, clutching her shoulder, and Nia follows, dragging the pipe, her eyes scanning the alley. The gray-haired woman scrambles up, pointing left. "Hide there," she whispers, and Nia nods, pulling Lena into a maze of shacks, their tin roofs glinting under a blood-red sunset. Shouts echo behind, the mob regrouping, more boots pounding the dirt, but Nia's not running blind. She spots an abandoned shed, its door hanging loose, and ducks inside, shoving Lena behind, a stack of crates. The air's stale, thick with rust and oil, and she wedges the pipe against the door, her hands steady despite the adrenaline flooding her veins. "Stay down," she murmurs, and Lena nods, her breath ragged but her eyes fierce. The shed's a tomb, dark and suffocating, but Nia's mind's a lighthouse cutting through the storm. She hears the mob outside, their voices a jagged chorus. "Find her! Kyle wants her head!" Her stomach twists. Kyle's not just paying for chaos, he's buying her death. She's outsmarted his cell trap, dodged his taxi snare, but this is his endgame, a slum execution to erase her. She grips the pipe tighter, her knuckles whitening, and peers through a crack in the wall, spotting shadows darting between shacks, their weapons flashing in the fading light. She's got no phone, no team, just a nail and a pipe, but she's Nia Carter, damn it, and she's not dying here. Then, a new sound. A car engine, loud and guttural, roaring down the alley. Nia tenses, expecting the taxi driver back for round 2, but it's worse. The door explodes inward, the pipe skittering across the floor, and Kyle steps in, a baseball, bat in his hands, his face a mask of rage. "Found you," he snarls, his voice dripping venom, his uniform torn and filthy from hours of hunting her. "You'll never fly again, you hear me? You're nothing." He swings the bat, aiming for her skull, and Nia dives, rolling across the dirt, the wood splintering a crate inches from her head. Lena gasps, scrambling back, and Nia's on her feet, the nail her only weapon now. He swings again, wild and reckless, and Nia sidesteps, jabbing the nail into his forearm, blood blooming dark and wet. He roars, dropping the bat, and she kicks. It away, her sneaker connecting with his shin, sending him staggering. "You're the nothing," she spits, her voice a blade, and lunges, tackling him to the ground, her fists pounding his chest, his face, every ounce of her fury unleashed. He thrashes, clawing at her, but she's relentless, a storm breaking over him, until he's gasping, his fight fading. The mob's shouts are closer now, boots thudding, and Nia drags him up, shoving him toward the door. "Tell them you failed," she growls and kicks him out, slamming the door shut, barricading it with the crates. She's panting, sweat stinging her eyes, her hands slick with his blood, when a new sound cuts through. A kid's voice, high and frantic. "She's in there! I've got it live!" Nia peers out, spotting a boy, maybe 12, his phone aimed at the shed, streaming to X. The mob hesitates, their shouts faltering as the kid yells, "It's Kyle! He's down!" Nia's breath catches. Her fight's gone global, a shaky feed of her pinning him, his bat useless, his racism exposed. In real time, the mob scatters, some dropping weapons, others cursing, the live stream a spotlight they can't outrun. Lena grips her arm, whispering, "You did it." But Nia shakes her head, her eyes hard. Not yet. Kyle stumbles to his feet outside, his arm bleeding, his face a swollen mess, and glares at the shed, his voice a ragged scream. "This isn't over." He limps off, vanishing into the dusk, but Nia knows he's right. He's hired thugs, chased her to the slums, swung a bat at her head, and she's still standing. But his hate's a hydra. Cut one head, another grows. The kid keeps filming, his stream hitting thousands of views, and Nia sinks against the wall, the pipe back in her hand, her chest heaving. She's survived, outsmarted his killers, turned his attack into her shield, but the war's not won. He's out there, plotting, and she's in a shack, bruised but unbroken, ready for the next blow. The gray-haired woman creeps in, her eyes wide with awe. "You're a fighter," she says, handing Nia a rag to wipe the blood. "They're gone for now." Nia nods, cleaning her hands, her mind already shifting gears. She's got the world, watching, a kid's phone her megaphone, but Kyle's not done bleeding her dry. She's escaped the mob, beaten him down, but his claws are deep, and the slums are just the start. She stands, helping Lena up, her voice low and fierce. "Let's move, he's not finished." The night's falling fast, and so's his next trap. Nia Carter stumbles out of the shack, her sneakers crunching on the slum's packed dirt, the night air cool against her sweat-soaked skin. Lena limps beside her, clutching her wounded shoulder, the gray-haired woman trailing close, her eyes darting to the shadows. The Johannesburg dusk is alive with noise, dogs howling, tin roofs creaking, the distant wail of sirens. But it's the boy's live stream that's shifting the tide, his shaky voice echoing from his phone. "She beat him! Nia Carter's alive!" The screen glows in his small hands, the feed spiking past 10,000 views, comments flooding in. "Queen! Take him down!" Nia's chest heaves, her hands still sticky with Kyle Grayson's blood, the nail tucked back in her sock, the broken pipe abandoned. She's survived his thugs, his bat, his hate, and now the world's watching. A global spotlight blazing through, the dust. The alley erupts as footsteps thunder closer, not the mob this time, but a wave of protesters, their voices a raw, rising chant. "Justice for Nia! Justice for Nia!" They're a mix, black locals in bright shirts, white students, with signs, reporters shoving mics forward, drawn by the boy's stream, their phones lighting up the dark like a constellation. A tall woman with dreadlocks rushes Nia, gripping her arm. "You're a hero!" she yells, tears streaking her face, and pulls her from the shack's wreckage, the crowd surging around her. Lena's swept up too, a medic patching her shoulder, while the gray-haired woman slips back, whispering, "Go, child." Nia's head spins, the cheers a roar in her ears, her body bruised but unbroken. She thinks she's safe, the mob scattered, Kyle's attack a public flop. She's wrong. The protesters hoist her onto a crate, a makeshift stage, and she stands tall, her hoodie torn, her face streaked with dirt and resolve. "I'm Nia Carter," she says, her voice steady, cutting through the noise. I own Horizon Airways, and I'm not bowing to anyone. The crowd explodes, fists pumping, cameras flashing, the boys' stream hitting 50,000 views, then 100,000, the hashtag #YourNiaLives trending worldwide. Reporters shout questions. What happened? Who's behind this? And Nia points to the shed, her words sharp. Kyle Grayson tried to kill me. His racism started on a plane and ended here. He's done. The cheers peak, a thunderclap of support, and she lets herself breathe, thinking she's turned his blade back on him. She's the hero now, the survivor, the billionaire who fought and won. But Kyle's not gone. He's 2 streets over, slumped, against a rusted car, his arm bleeding through a ripped sleeve, his face a swollen mess from her fists. His bat's gone, his pride shredded, but his phone's in his hand, his fingers trembling as he logs into Horizon's server. He's no tech genius, but he's got a password, stolen months ago from a sloppy IT guy, and a plan, desperate and vicious. He hacks in, his breath ragged, uploading fake financials, cooked books showing Nia siphoning millions, tax evasion, fraud. He hits send, emailing the files to every major outlet, CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, his lips twisting into a broken grin. Let's see you climb out of this, he mutters, staggering into the night, his revenge a digital dagger aimed at her heart. Back in the slum, Nia's basking in the crowd's roar, unaware of the storm brewing. A local man hands her a water bottle, cold and dripping, and she gulps it down, her throat raw from shouting. Lena's beside her, patched up, barking at a lawyer on her phone. Get us out of here now! The protesters chant louder, a shield of bodies between Nia and the shadows. And she feels the tide turning, her empire's name rising from the dirt. The boy with the phone, Thabo, he says, grins up at her, his stream a lifeline she didn't expect. You're famous, he whispers, and she ruffles his hair, her first soft moment in hours. She's safe, she thinks. The mob chased off, Kyle's face bloody on every screen. She's wrong again. The shift comes fast. A reporter's phone buzzes, then another, their faces paling as they scroll. Ms. Carter, one yells, a white guy with a BBC badge, shoving through the crowd. We've got documents. Horizon's bankrupt, you're accused of fraud. Care to comment? Nia freezes, the water bottle slipping from her hand, splashing her sneakers. What? She snaps, her voice a whip, but the crowd's murmur turns, sour, heads tilting, eyes narrowing. Lena grabs the reporter's phone, scanning the email, her face draining. It's fake, she hisses, but the damage is spreading. News apps pinging with headlines. Billionaire Nia Carter. Fraud exposed? Horizon Airways collapses in scandal. The protesters falter, some stepping back, others whispering, is it true? Nia's mind races, her victory curdling in her gut. Kyle's hack, she realizes, his last gasp from the slums, twisting her survival into a lie. She grabs Thabo's phone, her voice booming through the stream. This is a setup, Kyle Grayson's. Behind it, check the source. But the reporters are relentless, mics jabbing at her, questions piling up. Where's the money? Why the secrecy? The crowd thins, doubt creeping in, and Nia's chest tightens, her breath short. She's gone from hero to villain in minutes, the media storm a hurricane she can't outrun. Lena's on the phone again, screaming at techs in Atlanta. Trace it, shut it down. But the fake files are everywhere, a virus eating her empire alive. The sirens grow louder, police finally moving in, but not to help. They push through, batons out, eyeing Nia like she's the threat. Step down, ma'am, one grunts, his hand on his holster, and she complies, her sneakers hitting the dirt, the crate wobbling behind her. The protesters rally, some shouting, she's innocent, but others drift away, their faith shaken. Nia's hands clench, her nails digging into her palms, the sting grounding her. Kyle's turned the world against her, his racism a sledgehammer smashing her name. She's out of the shack, free of the mob, but this is worse. A public execution. By headlines, her legacy bleeding out on live feeds. Lena pulls her toward the SUV, now idling nearby. The driver, a trusted Horizon guy, his face grim. "We're leaving," she snaps, shoving Nia in, the door slamming shut as rocks pelt the windows, the crowd fracturing. The vehicle lurches forward, weaving through the slum's chaos, reporters chasing, sirens blaring. Nia sinks into the leather seat, her hoodie a shroud, her mind a war room. She's got Thabo's stream, the truth on her side, but Kyle's lies are louder, faster, a tidal wave drowning her fight. "Get me to Atlanta," she tells Lena, her voice steel. "He's hit the company. We hit back harder." The SUV speeds toward the airport, the night swallowing the slums, but Nia's not resting. She knows Kyle's hiding, licking his wounds, thinking he's won. Her phone's gone, but Lena's tablet glows with alerts. Horizon's stock plummeting, board members panicking, calls for her resignation. She's survived his bat, his thugs, his jail cell, and now this. A cyber attack shredding her empire. Her chest burns, not with defeat, but with a cold, calculated fury. She's still Nia Carter, the woman who built Horizon from scraps, and she's not done fighting. They hit the tarmac, a private jet waiting, its engines humming, and Nia boards, Lena at her heels, the crew scrambling to lift off. She buckles in, staring out the window as Johannesburg shrinks below, the city a patchwork of light and shadow. She's safe for now, the media storm raging behind her, but Kyle's hack's a live wire, sparking chaos she can't yet control. Her board's next, she knows, their loyalty teetering, and she's flying into a new battle, one she didn't see coming. Kyle's out there, his claws deep, and she's got to cut them off before he strikes again. Nia Carter steps off the private jet onto Atlanta's tarmac, the humid Georgia night wrapping around her like a damp cloak, her sneakers silent on the asphalt. The 14-hour flight from Johannesburg has left her bruised and sleepless, her hoodie torn, her hands still faintly stained with Kyle Grayson's blood. Lena's beside her, her shoulder bandaged, her tablet glowing with grim updates. Horizon Airways stock down 30%, headlines screaming fraud, her board in chaos. The media storm Kyle unleashed, fake financials painting her as a crook, has followed her across the Atlantic, a relentless shadow she can't shake. She climbs into a waiting SUV, the leather seats cool against her skin, and stares out the window as the city looms ahead, its skyline a jagged crown she built. "Boardroom now," she tells the driver, her voice a steel thread, and Lena nods, already dialing. Nia's survived slums and mobs, but this is war on her turf and she's ready to fight. The Horizon headquarters towers over downtown, a glass monolith gleaming under floodlights, but inside, it's a snake pit. Nia strides into the boardroom, her presence a thunderclap, the long oak table ringed by 12 suits, her board, men and women she handpicked, now staring at her like she's a ghost. The air's thick with tension, the scent of coffee and fear, monitors flickering with news. Carter's empire crumbles. Chairman Ed Rollins, a graying white man with a pinched face, stands, his tie loose, his voice clipped. "Nia, we've voted. You're out. These documents, millions missing, tax fraud, it's over." She freezes, her chest tightening, her eyes scanning the room. Half the faces, loyalists like Priya, a sharp-eyed Indian woman, look away, ashamed, while others smirk, their doubt a knife in her back. Kyle's hack has poisoned them, she realizes, his racism fueling a coup she didn't see coming. She slams her bag on the table, the thud echoing, and leans in, her voice low and lethal. "Those files are fake. Kyle Grayson planted them. You think I'd tank my own company?" Priya shifts, her fingers tapping nervously, but Ed scoffs, tossing a printout at her. Numbers circled in red, dates fabricated, a lie so slick it's fooled them all. "Proof's proof," he snaps. "Stock's crashing, shareholders are bailing, we can't risk it." Nia's blood boils, her fists clenching, but she's got an ace. She nods to Lena, who plugs a USB into the projector, pulling up server. "Here," Nia says, pointing as a tech expert. Jamal, a wiry black man in glasses, steps in. "Log in from Johannesburg, same time Kyle attacked me. It's him." The room stills, the logs glowing, undeniable, time-stamped, his digital fingerprints all over the hack. Murmurs ripple through the board, Ed's smirk faltering, Priya's eyes widening. "He's a flight attendant," she says, her voice shaky. "How'd he pull this?" Nia's lips twist, bitter. "He's a racist with a grudge and a stolen password. Underestimated me like you're doing now." Jamal nods, clicking through. "I've traced it. Fake accounts, offshore shells. All bullshit, she's clean." The tide shifts, Ed sinking into his chair, the smirks fading, and Nia stands taller, her hoodie a battle standard. "Vote again," she commands, and they do, hands rising reluctantly, 7-5. She's back, CEO reinstated, the room hers, again. She thinks she's won, her empire snatched from the brink, Kyle's lies exposed. She's wrong. The door bursts open, and Victor Crane strides in, a 60-year-old white shark in a tailored suit, his silver hair slicked back, his eyes cold as ice. He's a minority shareholder, 10% of Horizon, a relic from the early days who's always chafed under her rule. "Too late," he drawls, tossing a legal injunction on the table, the paper crisp and damning. "I've locked you out. Headquarters, accounts, all of it. Armed guards are downstairs." Nia's stomach drops, her victory dissolving like ash, the board gasping as Victor smirks, his voice a velvet blade. "You're a front, Nia. A diversity hire who got lucky. I've got proof, real proof. You're unfit. Step down, or I'll ruin you." He nods to the window where shadows move. Below, guards in black circling the building, rifles glinting under streetlights. Nia's mind reels, her breath short, but her face stays stone. Victor's Kyle's puppet master, she realizes, his wealth and bigotry amplifying the flight attendant's vendetta. She's beaten the hack, reclaimed her board, but this is a new beast, a corporate siege, her own building turned against her. "You're bluffing," she says, her voice steady, but Victor laughs deep and cruel, pulling out a folder. "Witnesses, emails, your signature on shady deals. Resign, or it's public by morning." The board freezes, Priya whispering, "Nia, what's he got?" But she doesn't know, her hands trembling with rage. "It's forged, it has to be, but Victor's power's real, his guard's a wall she can't breach." Lena lunges for the folder, flipping through, her eyes narrowing. "This is garbage. Dates don't match, signatures are off," she snaps, but Victor shrugs, unfazed. "Tell that to the press. They'll eat it up." Ed stands again, wavering. "Nia, if he's got something, we're done. Step aside." The board shifts, loyalty crumbling, and Nia's chest burns, her empire slipping through her fingers. She's outsmarted Kyle's thugs, his hack, his mob. But Victor's a titan, his racism a polished blade cutting deeper. She grabs the injunction, scanning it, court-stamped, airtight, locking her out until a hearing. "You won't win," she growls. But Victor's already turning, his parting shot chilling. "You're finished, girl." The room empties, the board fleeing, Lena cursing under her breath, Jamal packing his gear. Nia stands alone, the monitors still flickering. With fraud headlines, her reflection a warrior in a hoodie staring back. She's regained her title, exposed Kyle's lies, but Victor's coup has her caged, guards blocking every exit. She hears their boots below, a rhythmic thud like a heartbeat, and knows she's got hours, maybe less, before his proof hits. Lena grabs her arm, urgent. "We fight this in court. Get out, regroup." Nia nods, her jaw tight, and they slip out a side stairwell, dodging guards, the night swallowing them as they head for a safe house. The SUV peels away. Atlanta's streets, a blur, and Nia's mind's a furnace forging plans from the wreckage. Victor's allied with Kyle, she's sure, his money fueling this war, his hate a mirror to the flight attendants. She's survived slums, bats, and hacks, but this is her empire's throat under his boot, her legacy teetering. Lena's on the phone, rallying lawyers, but Nia's eyes are hard, her voice a whisper. "He's got guards. I've got brains. We'll see who breaks." She's locked out, cornered, but not beaten, the fight surging in her veins as the city fades behind her. This is getting wild, folks. Nia's battling boardrooms and billionaires now. What's your call? Comment number 1 if you think she's got the grit to outsmart Victor's coup, or number 2 if you reckon Kyle's puppet master's too big to topple. If this corporate chaos has you gripped, hit that like button and subscribe for the next showdown. She's dodged every blow so far, but Victor's got her empire in a chokehold. Will Nia flip this power play, or is her reign about to crash and burn? What's the next twist in this sky-high saga? Nia Carter sits in a dimly lit safe house on Atlanta's outskirts, the air heavy with the scent of pine and dust, her hoodie draped over a chair, her sneakers tapping the hardwood floor. The night's deep, stars hidden by a blanket of clouds, and the safe house, a modest cabin tucked among sprawling oaks, is her last bastion, a refuge from Victor Crane's corporate siege. Lena's across from her, her bandaged shoulders stiff, her tablet a lifeline glowing with updates. Horizons, headquarters locked down, guards patrolling, her board fractured. Nia's hands clench, her nails biting her palms, the sting a tether to reality. She's beaten Kyle's slums, his hack, his mob, reclaimed her CEO title, only to have Victor snatch it all away with an injunction. Now, she's rallying, her voice sharp as she tells Lena, "Sue him, every angle. Defamation, forgery, conspiracy. We hit back now." Lena nods, her fingers flying over the tablet. Lawyers already drafting filings in Atlanta's federal court. "Victor's proof is garbage," she says, her voice a growl. "Forged emails, fake signatures. We'll shred it." Nia leans back, her mind a steel trap, piecing together the war. Victor's Kyle's shadow, she knows. His wealth and racism amplifying the flight attendant's vendetta into a corporate guillotine. She's got Jamal, her tech whiz, tracing the hacks, roots, and a legal team ready to storm the courthouse. Hours bleed into dawn, the sky lightening to a bruised gray, and by noon they're filing a countersuit against Victor, Kyle, and Horizon's board, claiming sabotage and racial discrimination. Nia's in court by 3, her suit crisp, her face a mask of resolve, the judge a stern black woman named Hargrove who peers over her glasses with a no-nonsense glare. The courtroom's a battlefield, wood-paneled and hushed, reporters cramming the back, their pens scratching like locusts. Nia's lawyers dismantle Victor's injunction, Jamal testifying about the hack, Lena slamming forged documents on the table. "This is a lie," she snaps, pointing to a time-stamped email Victor claims Nia sent, dated when she was dodging his mob in Johannesburg. Victor's attorney, a slick white guy named Pierce, smirks, countering with witnesses, 2 ex-employees, swearing Nia cooked books, their stories rehearsed, their eyes shifty. Nia's gut twists. She's never met them. But Victor's money's deep and lies are cheap. Judge Hargrove's gavel bangs, her voice cutting through. Enough. Evidence weighs for Ms. Carter. Injunction lifted. The room erupts, reporters, gasping, Nia's team cheering, and she exhales, thinking she's won, her empire hers again. She's wrong. She steps out of the courthouse, the late afternoon sun warm on her face, Atlanta's skyline a promise reclaimed, when the world flips. Again, sirens wail, tires screech, and DEA agents swarm the steps, black vests gleaming, guns drawn. "Nia Carter, you're under arrest!" Their leader barks, a stocky man with a buzz cut, cuffing her wrists before she can blink, the steel cold and tight. Cameras flash, reporters shouting, "What's happening?" as Lena lunges forward yelling, "This is insane!" The agent shoves Nia toward a van, his voice flat. "Possession with intent to distribute. Drugs found in your office." Her stomach drops, her breath short. The crowd a blur of stunned faces filming her downfall live on every network. Billionaire drug lord busted. They haul her to a precinct, the van's interior a cage of vinyl and metal. Her mind racing as Lena trails in the SUV, lawyers scrambling. The holding cell's stark concrete walls closing in, a single bulb buzzing overhead. And Nia paces, her sneakers scuffing, the floor, her wrists raw from cuffs. She knows this is Kyle, his claws sinking deeper, Victor's shadow looming behind him. She's won in court, reclaimed Horizon, but this is their counterpunch, a felony frame-up, her name smeared from hero to kingpin in hours. An agent enters, his badge reading Torres, his face hard. "We found cocaine, 50 pounds in your office safe," he says, tossing photos on the table. White bricks stacked, her initials carved into the wrapping. "You're looking at 20 years. Nia stares, her blood ice, her voice steady despite the chaos. "That's planted. I've been in Johannesburg, then here. Check the timeline." Torres snorts, leaning in. "Your prints are on it. Explain that." She can't. Her safe's biometric, untouched for weeks. But Kyle's desperation's a master key. She's cuffed again, processed, her mugshot a viral bomb, headlines screaming, "Carter's drug empire exposed." Lena bursts in, lawyers, in tow, slamming a bail motion on the desk, but Torres smirks, his parting shot chilling. "Kyle's got friends in high places. This goes to trial. Good luck." The precinct's a hive, cops muttering, reporters swarming outside, and Nia's locked in a cell, her suit rumpled, her mind a furnace. She knows Kyle's planted the drugs. How, she's not sure, but his grudge has teeth, and Victor's cash has reach. She's beaten his hack, his mob, his coup, but this is a new beast, a legal noose tightening around her neck. Lena's outside, raging at the DA. "This is bullshit. She's clean." While Jamal hacks security footage, searching for proof. Hours crawl, the cell's chill seeping into her bones, but Nia's not breaking. She's built Horizon from nothing, face down worse than this, and she's got a plan brewing, her eyes glinting with a fire no bars can dim. Bail's set at 10 million, a fortune she posts by midnight. Her team's accounts drained, but her freedom bought. She walks out, the night air sharp, reporters shouting, "Nia, are you guilty?" She ignores them, climbing into the SUV, Lena at her side, her voice a whisper. "We've got footage. Someone in a Horizon uniform at your office. Night of the hack." Nia nods, her jaw tight, the puzzle clicking. Kyle's not just a thug. He's a saboteur. His racism a weapon Victor's honed. She's free for now, the courthouse win hers. But this felony's a live grenade, her empire teetering on its blast. "Find him," she tells Lena, her voice steel. "We end this." They speed to a new safe house, a loft downtown. Its windows, dark, its walls thick. Nia sinks into a couch, her body aching, her mind racing. Jamal's there, laptop open, pulling footage. A grainy figure in a flight attendant's jacket, face obscured, slipping into her office with a duffel. "It's him," Jamal mutters, zooming in. The timestamp matching Kyle's Johannesburg meltdown. She's got proof, a thread to unravel this frame-up. But the DEA's not budging, Torres's words echoing. Friends in high places, Victor's. Pulling strings, she knows, his wealth a shield for Kyle's dirty work. She's won the injunction, walked out of cuffs, but this is deeper, a systemic strike at her core. The loft's quiet, Lena on the phone with the DA, Jamal tracing the figure's path. And Nia stands, staring at the city through the glass. Atlanta's hers, a kingdom she forged. But Kyle's turned it into a battlefield. His racism a cancer spreading from a plane to her life. She's survived his bat, his hack, his coup, and now this. A drug bust she didn't see coming. Her name a punching bag for every newsroom. Her chest burns, not with defeat, but with a cold, relentless will. She's free, for the moment. The courthouse hers, but the trial's looming, and Kyle's got one more card to play. She's ready, her fight a flame that won't die, the next blow hers to strike. Nia Carter stands in the Atlanta federal courtroom, her navy suit crisp against her skin, her sneakers swapped for heels that click softly on the polished floor. The air's thick with the scent of wax and tension, the gallery packed with reporters, their cameras a silent swarm, the jury box a wall of 12 faces staring her down. It's been 3 weeks since the DEA cuffed her on the courthouse steps, 50 pounds of cocaine pinned on her. Her name a punching bag for every headline from here to Johannesburg. She's out on bail, her empire teetering, but her eyes burn, with a fire no cell can quench. Lena's beside her, her shoulder healed, her tablet a weapon loaded with evidence, while Jamal's in the back, laptop humming, ready to dismantle Kyle Grayson's frame-up. The trial's her battlefield now, and she's here to win. The prosecution's a machine, led by Ada Claire Voss, a white woman with a razor-sharp bob and a voice like ice. "Nia Carter's a drug lord," she declares, pacing before the jury, tossing photos of the cocaine bricks, NC carved into them, onto the exhibit table. 50 pounds in her office safe, her prints, her initials. She's no billionaire hero, she's a criminal hiding behind a company. Nia's jaw tightens, her hands steady on the defense table, but her mind churns. Kyle's planted this, she knows. His racism a sledgehammer. Victor Crane's money the anvil. Her lawyers counter fast. Lena slamming down security footage. Oh, figure in a Horizon uniform, face shadowed, slipping into her office with a duffel, time-stamped during her Johannesburg hell. That's Kyle Grayson, Nia's lead counsel, a grizzled black man named Ellis booms. He framed her. The jury leans forward, 6 men, 6 women, a mix of ages and shades, their eyes flickering between Voss's photos and Ellis's. Screen. Jamal testifies, his glasses glinting, dissecting the footage. No forced entry, uniform matches Grayson's size, timeline fits his attack in South Africa. Voss scoffs, parading a lab tech who swears Nia's prints are legit, but Ellis fires back. Safe's biometric, only she could open it and she wasn't here. The courtroom hums, reporters scribbling. The judge, a stern white man named Callahan, peering over his bench, his gavel poised. Days bleed into a week, evidence piling up. Nia's alibi, Kyle's hack, Victor's forged injunction. She's winning, she feels it. The jury nodding, Voss's case cracking. Then the verdict comes. "Ladies and gentlemen," Callahan intones, the room stilling. "Have you reached a decision?" The forewoman, a middle-aged white woman with tight curls, stands, her voice steady. Not guilty on all counts. The gallery erupts, cheers drowning out Voss's scowl, Lena gripping Nia's arm, whispering, "We did it." Nia exhales, her chest loosening, her heels firm on the floor. She's free. The frame-up shattered, her name cleared on live TV, reporters shouting, "Carter vindicated." She walks out, the noon sun warm on her face. The courthouse steps a victory stage, thinking she's beaten Kyle's felony, Victor's shadow, the whole damn system. She's wrong. The celebrations cut short as she reaches the street, the crowd parting, a new roar rising, not cheers but rage. Hundreds spill from side streets, a mob of furious faces, white mostly, some in red caps, others in work boots, waving signs. "Carter's guilty. Justice denied!" Bottles fly, shattering on the pavement, a brick skimming past her head, and Nia ducks, her pulse spiking, Lena shoving her back. "What the hell?" Lena snaps, but Nia sees it. Kyle's hand again, his venom twisting. Her win into chaos. Cops swarm, riot gear gleaming, but they're not stopping it. They're firing tear gas, the acrid sting hitting her lungs. The mob surging closer, screaming, "She bought the jury!" Nia's eyes water, her breath short, but her mind clicks. This isn't random. She spots a man in the crowd, his face calm, handing out cash to rioters, his jacket too clean for this mess. "Lena, look," she coughs, pointing, and Lena nods, filming through the haze. The gas thickens, cops swinging batons, and Nia's team pulls her to the SUV, tires screeching as they peel out, the mob's shouts fading. Safe in the loft, Lena plays the footage, zooming in. The man's a juror, the forewoman's brother, caught slipping a note in court. "Kyle rigged it," Lena growls, and Nia's stomach twists. He's leaked a fake confession, her voice doctored, claiming she bribed the jury, and it's viral. X exploding with tar. Carter cheats. The lofts, a bunker now, windows dark, Jamal hacking the leak's source. A burner phone tied to Kyle, time-stamped post-verdict. "He's turning your win into a riot," Jamal mutters, and Nia nods, her chest tight. She's beaten the felony, walked free, but this is Kyle's counterstrike. A city ablaze, her acquittal a match to his hate. Cops outside fire more gas, pinning the chaos on her, headlines flipping. Carter's victory sparks violence. Her board's on the phone, panicking. "Resign, Nia, it's too hot." But she's not bending. She's got the juror's face, the leak's trail, and a will forged in fire. "Find him," she tells Jamal, her voice steel. We end this lie. The night drags. The loft a war room. Lena rallying PR. Jamal tracing burner signals. Naya stands by the window, the city a haze of smoke and flashing lights. Her suit rumpled, her mind racing. She's survived slums, hacks, coups and cuffs. But this is a new nightmare. Her freedom a spark for Kyle's chaos, Victor's strings pulling tighter. Then, a glint catches her eye. A red dot dancing on the glass, a sniper's scope from a rooftop across the street. Down! She yells, tackling Lena as a bullet shatters the pane, embedding in the wall where her head was. Glass rains, Jamal diving for cover, and Nia's breath stops, her body pressed to the floor, the nail from her sock in her hand. The shot's a whisper, silenced, but the message screams. Kyle's not just rigging juries. He's hired a killer. She crawls to the couch, her team shaken, the loft a target zone. He's lost it, Lena gasps, and Nia nods, her eyes hard. The mob's his distraction, the confession his smoke, this bullet his endgame. She's free, acquitted, but trapped, the city a war zone, her empire bleeding. Jamal's laptop pings, a signal lock, Kyle's burner, 5 miles away, moving fast. He's close, he says. And Nia stands, glass crunching under her heels, her voice a blade. Then we're closer. She's beaten his felony, dodged his riot, and now she's hunted. But she's not prey, she's the predator, and Kyle's time's up. Nia Carter crouches behind the couch in the shattered loft, glass crunching under her heels, the night air pouring through the bullet-smashed window, sharp and cold against her sweat-damp skin. Her navy suit's torn at the knee, her breath shallow, the nail from her sock clenched in her fist like a talisman. Lena's beside her, her bandaged shoulder trembling, her tablet clutched tight, while Jamal huddles near the wall, his laptop glowing with Kyle Grayson's burner signal. 5 miles, out moving fast through Atlanta's sprawl. The sniper's shot, a silenced whisper that nearly took her head, still echoes in her skull. The red dots dance a death knell she's dodged by inches. The city outside roars, riots raging, sirens wailing, the mob's chaos a smokescreen. For Kyle's kill order, she's beaten his felony, his jury rig, but this is his endgame and she's not waiting to die. Jamal, lock it, she snaps, her voice a low blade, and he nods, fingers flying over keys, triangulating the signal to a warehouse district near the river. He's there, he mutters, zooming in, a blinking dot on a grainy map. Nia stands, glass falling from her suit, her eyes hard as flint. We go! Now! Lena grabs her arm, her face pale. Nia, there's a sniper out there! But Nia shakes her off, her chest burning with a fury forged in slums and cells. He's not! Stopping me, get the car. They move fast, slipping down a back stairwell, the loft's wreckage a tomb behind them. The nail her only weapon, her mind a steel trap. She's hunted, but she's hunting too, and Kyle's about to bleed. The SUV peels out, tires screeching. On wet pavement, Atlanta's streets a maze of smoke and flashing lights. Lena drives, her knuckles white, weaving through barricades while Jamal tracks the signal, his laptop bouncing on his knees. Nia stares out, the city a war zone, cars burning, cops clashing with rioters, her name a curse on their lips. She's dodged Kyle's bat, his hack, his drugs, his coup. But this sniper's his ace. Victor Crane's money the muscle behind it. The warehouse looms ahead, a hulking shadow of brick and rust, its windows dark, its lot empty save for a lone sedan. Kyle's, she bets, her gut screaming it. Stop here, she says, and Lena pulls over, a block out, the engine idling, the night thick with menace. She slips out, the nail in her hand, her heels swapped for sneakers from the trunk, silent on the asphalt. Stay back, she tells Lena, but her assistant's already out, tablet swapped for a tire iron, her eyes fierce. Jamal follows, laptop under his arm, a flashlight flickering. They creep closer, the warehouse a fortress, its steel door ajar, a sliver of light spilling. Out, Nia peers in, spotting Kyle, his uniform shredded, his face swollen from her fists, a gun in his hand, pacing a concrete floor littered with crates. She's dead tonight, he mutters, his voice a ragged snarl, talking to a shadow, a hired gun, she guesses, the sniper's backup. Her blood runs cold, but her resolve hardens. He's not winning this. She signals Lena and Jamal, pointing to a side alley, her plan a whisper. "Flank him, I'll draw him out." They nod, splitting off, and Nia kicks the door wide, the clang echoing like a gunshot. Kyle spins, his gun raised, his eyes wild. "You!" he roars, firing, the bullet zinging past her ear, splintering brick. She dives behind a crate, her breath sharp, the nail her shield, and shouts, "You'll never belong, Kyle, that's your line, right?" He fires again, screaming, "You don't! You never will!" His hate's a flood, drowning reason, and she rolls, dodging, her sneakers skidding on dust, luring him out, his shots wild, his aim sloppy. The alley's her trap, narrow and shadowed, and she sprints, his boots pounding behind, his gun clicking empty. "I'll kill you with my hands," he yells, lunging, and she spins, jamming the nail into his thigh, blood spurting dark and hot. He howls, stumbling, and she grabs his gun, flipping it, slamming the butt into his jaw, cracking bone. He drops, gasping, and she pins him, her knee on his chest, the nail at his throat. "You're done," she growls, her voice a storm, and he spits, his eyes burning. "Victor'll finish you." Sirens wail closer, cops finally moving in, their lights slashing the dark, and Nia stands, dragging him up, his body limp, his fight gone. Lena and Jamal rush in, tire iron and flashlight raised, the sniper's shadow gone. Fled at the chaos, she hopes. Cops swarm, guns drawn, shouting, "Hands up!" But Nia's calm, tossing the gun, her hands high, Kyle groaning, at her feet. "He attacked me," she says, her voice steady, and they cuff him, his blood staining the pavement, his screams fading as they haul him off. She's won, she thinks, her breath slowing. The chase over, Kyle's assassination plot a bust. The IT warehouse is hers, the night hers. But then Jamal's phone pings, a text from Lena's contact. Victor bailed him out. He's free. Her stomach drops, her victory hollow, the cops already gone, Kyle's shadow slipping away. She stands. In the alley, the rivers murmur a soft hum. Her team beside her, the city still smoldering beyond the warehouses. Victor's claws are deep, she knows. His money a lifeline Kyle's grabbed again. She's dodged his bullet, beaten his fists, trapped him here. But he's out, his hate a phoenix rising from cuffs. Her chest tightens, not with fear, but with a cold, relentless will. "Find Victor," she tells Jamal, her voice steel. And he nods, laptop opening, the hunt renewed. She survived slums, hacks, coups, trials. And now this, a chase through Atlanta's gut, her empire bleeding but unbroken, Kyle's gun hers, his blood on her hands. The SUV waits, engine rumbling, and Nia climbs in, her suit a ruin, her sneakers slick with dirt and blood. Lena drives silent, her tire iron on the seat, while Jamal tracks Victor's accounts, his flashlight dimming. The city's a blur, riots fading, cops retreating. But Nia's not resting. She's beaten Kyle's every blow, his insults, his mobs, his drugs, his sniper. But Victor's bailed him out, their alliance a hydra she's yet to slay. The nail's back in her sock, a reminder of her grit, and she stares ahead, the warehouse shrinking in the mirror, her mind a war room. She's trapped him once, she'll do it again. But Victor's next, his shadow the real beast, and she's ready to cut it down. Nia Carter slumps in the SUV's backseat, the Atlanta night a blur of sodium lights and smoke, her navy suit shredded, her sneakers caked with Kyle Grayson's blood and warehouse dust. Lena drives, her hands steady on the wheel, the tire iron, resting beside her like a silent vow, while Jamal taps furiously on his laptop, tracking Victor Crane's financial threads from the passenger seat. The city's chaos fades behind them, riots sputtering out, sirens growing distant. But Nia's chest is a furnace, her breath ragged, the nail in her sock a jagged reminder of the war she's fought. She's dodged Kyle's sniper, beaten, him in the alley, watched cops haul him off only for Victor to yank him free with a bailout. Her empire's bleeding, Horizon Airways stock a ghost on the market, and she's running on fumes, but her eyes burn with a fire no bullet can snuff. She's not done. The safe house looms ahead, A squat brick building in a quiet suburb, its windows dark, its yard overgrown with weeds. Lena pulls in, the engine cutting to a hum, and Nia steps out, the cool air sharp against her sweat-soaked skin. "Victor's next," she says, her voice a low blade, and Jamal nods, his glasses glinting as he pulls up a bank alert. Crane's liquidating assets, 2 million wired an hour ago. Nia's gut twists. Victor's funding Kyle's escape. She knows. His wealth a lifeline she's got to sever. They slip inside, the door creaking shut, the room a bunker of shadows and stale coffee, and Nia sinks into a chair, her mind racing. She's survived slums, hacks, coups, trials, and chases, but this is the end game and she's playing to win. Morning breaks, gray and heavy. The news a gut punch. Horizon Airways bankrupt. Carter's reign ends. Nia stares at the TV, her face on every channel. Reporters crowing over falsified ledgers Victor's leaked overnight, stock charts flatlining, her board silent. Lena slams the remote down, her voice cracking. "This is insane. They've tanked us." Jamal's laptop pings, a deeper blow. Accounts frozen, assets seized, SEC's investigating. Nia's chest tightens, her breath short, the nail digging into her palm. Kyle's in hiding, Victor's won, her empire's ash. She's broke, defeated, the world thinks. Her legacy, a smoldering ruin. She stands, pacing the creaky floor, her team watching, waiting. But her eyes glint, a secret simmering beneath, the wreckage. She turns to Lena, her voice steady, a spark igniting. "Get the press. Downtown, noon." Lena blinks, confused, but Nia's already moving, pulling a fresh hoodie from a bag, her sneakers thudding as she heads out. They pile into the SUV, the city waking around them, traffic thick with commuters oblivious to her war. Jamal's still tracking, muttering. Victor's at his penthouse, Kyle's off-grid, but Nia's not listening. She's 3 steps ahead, her mind a chessboard, every move calculated. The press conference is her stage, a parking lot near Horizon's locked headquarters. Reporters swarming as she steps up, cameras flashing, mics jabbing, the crowd a mix of skeptics and diehards from her slum rescue. "Nia Carter's done." "Right?" a reporter shouts, his voice smug, and she raises a hand, silencing them, her hoodie a quiet rebellion against the suits she's shed. "Listen up," she says, her tone steel, her eyes piercing the lenses. "Horizon's gone bankrupt, yeah, but I'm not. 3 days ago I sold it. Every jet, every route, every dime, to a private buyer. 2 billion in my pocket, clean and legal." The crowd gasps, reporters stammering, and she pulls a tablet from her bag, Lena sinking it to a screen. A contract, signed, notarized, dated before Kyle's sniper shot. "I knew they'd come for me," she says, her voice rising. "So I flipped the board. Victor Crane and Kyle Grayson, they're broke now." The air shifts, a stunned hush breaking into chaos, cameras whirring as she drops the bomb. "I bought Crane Holdings yesterday. Their company, their assets, their jobs. Mine. Victor's my employee and I'm firing him live right here." She taps the tablet, a termination notice flashing, and the crowd erupts, cheers drowning out gasps, reporters shouting, "Crane's ruined?" She nods, her lips curving, not a smile, but a victor's mark. "Kyle too. He's fired. No severance. No escape. They thought they'd bury me with racism and lies. They built my throne instead." The screen switches. Jamal hacking live, showing Victor's accounts draining. His penthouse deed flipping to Nia's name. Kyle's burner pinged in a motel. Cops closing in. She steps back, the crowd roaring, her team flanking her. Lena's, eyes wide, Jamal grinning. "How?" Lena whispers, and Nia's voice is low, fierce. "I saw the hack coming, sold before it hit. Used their own game, bought Crane Holdings with their cash flow. They're dust now." The press swarms, questions flying. "What's next? Horizon's gone, but you're richer?" And she lets the noise wash over her, her chest swelling, not with pride, but with a cold, hard triumph. She's beaten. Kyle's insults, his mobs, his drugs, his sniper, Victor's coups, and turned their hate into her empire's rebirth. the nails still in her sock, a relic of her fight, and she grips it, grounding herself in the win. Across town, Victor's penthouse is a cage, his silver hair wild, his suit rumpled as he watches the feed, his empire crumbling on live TV. "No," he mutters, smashing a glass, his phone dead, his guards gone. Naya's orders, her power absolute. Kyle's in a motel, 5 miles out, his face a swollen wreck, his gun empty, pounding the wall as cops kick the door in, cuffs snapping shut, his scream a futile echo. She can't do this. But she has, and they're nothing. Victor a pauper, Kyle a convict, their racism a rope they've hanged themselves with. Naya's the billionaire still, richer, sharper, her enemies her footstool. The press conference ends, the crowd chanting her name, and Nia steps into the SUV, the city hers again, its skyline a testament to her grit. Lena drives, silent, awed, while Jamal tracks the fallout. Victor's bankrupt, Kyle's booked, murder for hire, fraud, the works. Nia leans back, her hoodie soft against the leather, her breath steady, the nail in her hand a quiet trophy. She's lost horizon, sure, but she's gained more. Billions, power, a legacy forged in fire. "Where to?" Lena asks, and Nia's eyes glint, her voice a promise. "Somewhere new. We're just starting." The SUV rolls on, Atlanta fading. The news a victory lap. Carter's comeback, billionaire outsmarts racist plot. She's dodged every blow. Kyle's bat in the slums, his hack in the sky. Victor's guards at her gates, the sniper's scope in her loft, and turned them into gold. The nails her proof, her fights her crown, and she's not bowing. Not ever. Victor's penthouse is hers now. Kyle's cell his tomb. Their hate a ladder she's climbed to the top. She's Nia Carter, the woman who took a seat dispute and made it a dynasty. Her justice a quiet storm that swept them clean. The road stretches ahead, her empire reborn, and she's ready. The nail her scepter, the world her next move. Nia Carter's journey in this gripping tale offers profound lessons about resilience, cunning, and the fight against systemic bias. First, it teaches us that adversity doesn't define you. Your response does. Nia faced relentless attacks from Kyle Grayson and Victor Crane, fueled by racism and greed. Yet she turned every blow into a stepping stone, proving that strength lies in adaptability, not surrender. Her story shows how prejudice can blind people. Kyle's assumption that a black woman couldn't own an airline sparked his downfall, a reminder to challenge stereotypes, not cling to them. Second, preparation is power. Nia's secret sale of Horizon before the crash wasn't luck. It was foresight, a lesson in staying ahead of the game when the odds are stacked against you. Third, unity trumps division. From passengers filming, her truth to her team's unwavering support, Nia's victory hinged on collective resistance against injustice, showing that allies amplify your voice. Finally, justice isn't loud, it's strategic. Nia didn't scream or falter, she calculated, outsmarted and won, flipping her enemies' hate into their ruin. This story isn't just about surviving racism, it's about thriving through it, turning pain into triumph with grit and grace. So what's your takeaway? How would you fight back if the world tried to bury you under lies? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Number 1, if you'd outsmart like Nia. Number 2, if you'd rally a crew to rise. If this tale of beating the odds fired you up, hit that like button, subscribe for more epic showdowns, and share it with anyone who needs a spark. Thanks for riding this wild journey with us. Here's to conquering your own battles and soaring higher than the haters.